There is a new force walking London streets, private security guards armed with police powers. And while the Met faces severe cuts to its budget, the number of this new breed of officer is set to grow and grow dramatically. Jerry Thomas reports.
Security guards like this could be coming to a street near you. Far from the average, these officers on patrol in Victoria have been granted special powers, normally reserved for the police. Around London, working for councils, hospitals and private companies, trained personnel have been given the power to issue fines, confiscate alcohol or tobacco, direct traffic, demand someone's name and address. Known as the Community Safety Accreditation Scheme, Labour set it up in 2002, but until now the take-up has been slow. At the end of last year, there were 127 accredited people, but that number is set to grow to more than 400 once a number of proposed new patrols hit the beat. And at a time where the number of fully paid-up police officers will fall from present levels, we could find officers like this an increasingly common sight.
With us now we have John Tully from the Met Police Federation. Rank and file officers, are they quite looking forward to working with these private police officers?
Well, I think fundamentally the Police Federation have quite an interesting position here, because we currently have warranted police officers who hold the office of constable, of which we're very proud, and they police the streets 24/7, and we're very proud to serve the communities that we serve. We also have police community support officers who backfill and support those regular police officers. We now find ourselves faced with the potential of a third tier of policing, as it were, which is privatised in some respects because it's funded privately.
So when you say it's funded privately, that is the thing that rankles with you, is it?
Well, not necessarily rankles, but I think for us we need to know the benefits of that, linked into where is their training coming from, what regulation are they going to have.
Yeah, I mean, the thing is, you know, your own bosses think it's a very good idea. I mean, they're going to sort out the problems that you, frankly, have not got the time or the effort for, and nor should you, getting kids off pavements on bicycles, confiscating cigarettes and alcohol from, you know, teenage tearaways on benches. You don't want to be doing that, do you?
I think it's about perception. If you see a regular police officer in full uniform patrolling the streets, that generates confidence and reduces the fear of crime. If you see someone walking the streets with perhaps a tabard, or not even that in some cases, there's going to be confusion. People won't know who to turn to.
Well, you see, the thing is, I do remember when PCSOs were first floated, and there were quite a few rank and file officers who thought that was a dreadful idea. Isn't the truth that actually you don't like change? It's on your turf, and that's what's uncomfortable. What they will actually do is quite an effective job for you.
I think it's not a case of us wanting to oppose change. We've always said over a number of years that we are prepared to look at change, but it needs to be constructive change.
You didn't like PCSOs when they came along?
We didn't particularly like PCSOs, no. I quite agree with that.
And now you're saying that they're an effective backfill. So isn't the case, you know, people will get used to the tabarded police officers and they will help. You don't have the money to do the job that they can do.
I think we're facing a cut of 20% in the police budget over the next 2 or 3 years. What the public want to see are warranted police constables on the street effectively patrolling their communities, and that's what we, the Police Federation, want to see as well. I think that it's a diversion to bring in private police forces. The government do want to cut. We're facing enormous pressures at the moment across a wide range of areas: pay and conditions, pensions, sure, pay freezes.
And we've spoken about that on the programme before, but are you worried about accountability? Are you worried about their training?
I think we are, because, you know, police officers do up to 30 weeks intensive foundation training, and then on-the-job training thereafter for 2 years. They're probationary police officers for 2 years. My understanding of this new scheme is that the people involved will have a maximum of a week to be trained in their skills. And when you think that these people are going to have powers such as stopping vehicles, issuing fixed penalty notices, confiscating, as you said, alcohol and tobacco from people. It's going to cause conflict and confusion, I believe.
Is also the real fear that this is the thin end of a wedge and you do fear some kind of privatisation of the police force?
I think it is privatisation by the back door, and it is well and truly the thin end of the wedge. The current government have got an agenda of cuts which, without doubt, will affect the frontline policing capability in England and Wales. And this is a poor excuse to try and fill that gap.
Is there not a possibility you might get used to them like you got used to the PCSOs?
I don't think so.
OK. I wonder, though, whether there is anything that can stop this now. It's inevitable that these forces will take to the streets.
Well, it's been enacted in 2002 by an Act of Parliament that these powers can be delegated by chief officers of police. And clearly across the country, a number of schemes are springing up. And in the Met, in your report, you mentioned 127 last year. And it is growing,
Okay.
but it's a very small growth.
Well, thank you very much for being with us.